Hey YouTube, it's me, Ryan, once again, PB70CDOEM, and this is a part 2 of my Gateway 2000 486 with my BIOS issue. First off, I want to make a shout out to YouTube user, hang on, I got it, Omega552003. Not just with you, but with everyone. I've been having a lot of problems replying to comments. I don't know why, it's probably to do with our internet service not being the best, long story short, but I figured I'll reply through my part 2 video. I saw what you mentioned in my comment about disk drive overlays, DDOs, and I've used OnTrack with my 2GB CF card, and I have an OnTrack floppy disk here. Just boot off of it and turn the system on. And what's unfortunate is that I am still unable to install Windows 95. I actually did try this. And so I'm going to demonstrate here on this issue that I am still having. So it's going to boot off of my OnTrack floppy disk here. Okay, I meant to go with the defaults, but I'll just hit enter. Okay. We'll select easy. Yes, that's correct. We're going to do Windows 95. Okay. Press a key when ready. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Oh. And I am following the directions. I don't want to insert a disk just yet. Now we'll insert the disk and press the space bar. Okay, at this moment, for some reason, I don't know why, but it skips the config sys file and goes directly to the autoexec.bat, so we'll do the sys c : command and make the hard drive, well, CF card in this case, bootable. Okay. Now at this moment there are some additional settings that I'll need to do, so I will be right back. Okay, I just made the CF card bootable and copied some stuff so that it'll boot off the hard drive. And I have a CD-ROM driver for my, it's a Sony proprietary CD drive that I have connected to my sound card, the data interface cable. So once the system boots off the CF card with the drive overlay software in place, see, there it is, and there it's booting off the system, and it is showing the splash screen, but I don't have Windows installed just yet. Go into the CD, and then we'll type in setup. Okay. So far, setup does seem to be running normally. Okay. I know the floppy drives seem kind of loud. At that particular moment, they've always been that loud. So anyone watching my video, if it seemed like the floppy drives seem kind of loud, it seems that way to me too, even off camera. Yeah, we'll do typical. The key code, Windows 95 is abandoned where you can find keys anywhere, so I don't have an issue putting it online. So Bill Gates doesn't come after me. Okay. And then I'll just type in user for a name. And this is what comes up. I'm still getting the same issue. It says, your computer uses a BIOS and disk combination that could lead to data loss if you run Windows 95. Please update the BIOS before installing Windows 95. For more information, contact your computer manufacturer. And this is the reason why I am desperate to get a micro firmware BIOS for this particular system that has this Micronix motherboard. I will be mentioning the part number of the motherboard and actually showing it off through my laptop computer screen momentarily. But I just wanted to mention that even with the drive overlay software, I'm still getting the same issue. So, with that being said, be right back momentarily. Okay, first off, I want to show a picture of two different Gateway 2000 Micronix motherboards that are these 486 motherboards. The first one I'm going to show off is the one that's in my Gateway 2000 computer, because there's two different BIOS versions that these originally came with. Not talking about the micro firmware BIOS I'm looking for, I'm talking about the original BIOS that it first came with. First off, we'll zoom up on it. Just want to make sure that everyone on here gets a good look at it. The part number is 09-00144-01 in this case, but that can be any part number. And then there's another motherboard, almost identical. Okay. Just so that everyone gets a good look at it. And the BIOS version that comes with it is GLB05. The one from before is GLB01. Now, the part number on this one, 09-00169-01. Again, that can be any number, as far as I know. I have tried the GLB05 BIOS with mine. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The system would fail to boot off of any hard drive, even my 320 megabyte Western Digital Caviar hard drive. If I plugged in any hard drive, the system would just hang. It would count the RAM and then the system would just hang. No post beep, nothing. Furthermore, the micro firmware BIOS updates that are online that require a previously installed micro firmware BIOS. I tried them, the upgrade onlys, and they did not work. This is what would come up. I actually took a photo from my Gateway 2000 monitor, and this is the prompt that came up. It said this version can only update a previously installed micro firmware BIOS upgrade, which I unfortunately do not have. I did, however, see some posts on Vogons about these upgrade-only versions, and I have made a custom chart. Now, I do not know for sure. I'm going to have to take the camera off the tripod. But if the program that detects to see if there's a previously installed BIOS can be bypassed, I did read that it might be incomplete, it might not be, I don't know. But here is an example. Let me get up close. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to zoom out. Okay. So this is an example of if there was a micro firmware BIOS of an earlier version already installed. And these colors represent the examples here. I don't know how else to explain it, and I'm sorry. The exe file for the upgrade only, the gray represents the program that would detect to see if there's a micro firmware BIOS already present, and if there isn't, then it would say it can only upgrade a previously installed BIOS upgrade and system halted. And this light green would represent the upgrade only data, if this is accurate. If there is already a micro firmware BIOS update in place, then this is what we would have. The micro firmware BIOS data already present, and then some updates done. Now, if it is incomplete, then this is what we would have. Possible missing BIOS data, and the upgrade only data being in place. I don't know if that's the case. If there is anyone out there who can actually decompile the exe for the BIOS data, that would be wonderful, because I am desperate to find this micro firmware BIOS update. Let's get the camera back on the tripod. You know what? Be right back. Okay, here we are on my Gateway 2000 system once again. I wanted to show off this Flash BIOS update utility. I also have an account on Vogons, and there were a few people that have talked about these micro firmware BIOSes. In fact, someone actually wants to collect them for anyone who needs them in the future. And I wanted to make a quick shout out to YouTube user Gaming Retro. I posted a comment on your video about your Gateway 2000 because I saw that your system, your Gateway 2000, actually did have a micro firmware BIOS. So if you could do me a personal favor, as well as everyone else, and the person on Vogons a favor. There's a utility here called fsh.exe, and what this is you can actually save a BIOS image file of your system BIOS. So what we're going to do now, although I don't have a micro firmware BIOS, but I'm just showing this to demonstrate how this works. We're going to type in fsh, whoops, sorry about that, that was a typing error on my part. Okay, we're going to hit enter to continue, and we're going to push the down arrow key, save flash BIOS. Okay, and because I booted off of a DOS 5 boot disk, where this program is also being run from, we will save it as bios.bin. Okay, bios.bin. And then we're going to hit enter. And what this is doing is it's looking at the current BIOS and saving an image file of it to the floppy disk. I would also like to make a shout out video to YouTube user Mike Tech. I know that you have collected a lot of different computers and explored them. If you ever come across a Gateway 2000 with a system board like the one I have mentioned earlier, or any Gateway or system with a Micronix motherboard for that matter, any system that has a micro firmware BIOS, please do a BIOS dump, save an image file of it, and upload it to archive.org or somewhere on Vogons, anywhere online, because that would really help a lot of people out, including me. Okay, so BIOS image is saved. We're gonna exit. Now we're gonna do a dir, and then there's the bios.bin file that I just saved. Okay. Anyhow, thank you to everyone for watching my video. Hopefully someone out there can help me find a micro firmware BIOS, a non-upgrade only version of micro firmware that I can actually install on my system. If anyone can help me out, that would be really wonderful. Anyways, that is about it. So, this is PB70CDOEM, Ryan Hawley, signing off. Take care, over and out.